Collective. Ooh. Well, the first time in a long time. I did not sleep because I had a lot of fun last night. I went, there's a big music festival here, amongst many, but my friend was playing a show last night at this festival, and I'm always their plus one, which is the best. And yeah, it just was a great night. I met some incredible artists, saw some amazing shows, and really it's one of the first shows I've been to kind of since COVID. Yeah, so I got home late, and for some reason I only slept for an hour. I don't know why. I woke up and then I watched all these weird interviews. And so now it's early, and I just thought, hell, why not? It's so weird. I'm gonna deal with this, I don't know, power grid situation. Power came back on after the heat wave, but then our humidity with this rainstorm went up the roof. And so, like, it's not like I don't have power. I only have power in 2 lights. What the fuck? And sometimes it'll just flicker on and off, whatever, doesn't matter. Suffice to say, that's why I have a McDonald's coffee, and that's why I'm on the porch right now. It's dark in the house. I couldn't make a coffee. So, that isn't a time to do a little reading today. Let's check in. Yeah, I'm still on this high. Well, I met 2 people last night that were just delightful. Well, I met a lot of delightful humans last night. I re-met a lot of old people that, like, it's been so long they didn't even recognize me. So perhaps some of you have been like myself, for a long time. Maybe the old style fun. It's not like I don't know how to have fun. I have a lot of fun, but where I was living before I came back to the city, the other city and the village, like I was literally living in the woods. Not a ton of fun. And there's just a lot of different stuff happening. Yeah, the city has brought me back to life. I know I've said that before, but it truly astounds me. Because sometimes we don't know how below par we are until we go up, and then we go, oh shit, I was really down there. Oh, I can't wait to play shows again, guys. Yeah, it's just funny being at these venues. The other show that I went to with my pal was the place that I played my worst show. The show where all of my sound check went really great, and then the whole show, it was just a nosedive. But you need those shows. See, going back to how I was talking about rejection, you know, as artists, you gotta fail. And as an artist, you're always failing. There's always something that goes wrong invariably, but if you're a performer, you just kind of know there's gonna be shows that you eat shit. Anyway, so the venue last night is a sister venue to the place that I played my last show at, or my last worst show at. And yeah, it was like stepping into a time capsule. I haven't been in there in 22 years. Nothing has changed. And it was literally like the ghosts. I could see my old roommate in my mind's eye, like working behind the bar, and my other old friend, like, I don't know, history. Yeah, you gotta get out there. Get out there, people. And for those of you who get out there too much, maybe you need to tuck yourself into bed a little bit earlier. I'm I'm usually in bed very early because I get up really early. Yeah. Yeah, I'm super pumped. I'm super pumped on things. Life, she's a sweet fruit. Well, let's start with this new deck. Every little thing you do is magic. I don't know why I feel the need to whisper. Everyone's in their homes, in their beds, but you know when people are loud? Oh God. I was reminded of, there's this person at the show who is very high and inebriated. Oh man. And she was very distracting. She kind of just screamed. It was kind of like she was having a mental health breakdown, to be honest. I kept my eye on her. At one point, she passed out. And then the one point in the show, it was like, it was more of an experimental electronic show. Very loud, very experimental. Not something you would just, again, tuck yourself. But she did. She, after screaming a bunch, she just laid down on the floor right by the speaker, and she just took a little snooze. I kept an eye on her. I was like, do we need to get that naloxone kit? Is she breathing? What's going on? She was okay. She woke up 15 minutes later, refreshed, ready to scream. Seven of Wands. Interesting Seven of Wands here. Scissors. Seven of Wands is about defending yourself. This to me is more like cutting cords, wouldn't you say? It's got a very cutting cord kind of vibe here. Yeah, don't fight them, just cut the cord. You know what I mean? Don't waste that energy. Use that kind of movement for magic with your own, you know? No one needs to be picking up Seven of Wands. Just cut the cord. Just say, we're done. You know what I mean? Okay. Okay, well, someone's got to cut a cord, or two, maybe 7 cords. Whoa. Okay. I cut cords all the time. If you ain't bringing it, you ain't nothing but trouble, get out of here. Wow. Okay, well, you're gonna have to take a snooze after all that cord cutting. Yeah, see, look how much cord cutting it bent your knife. That's how many cords got cut, and now you're tired. Yeah, you have to tuck yourself in. Just like I said, you gotta tuck. Look, he's getting tucked into his little fluffy tail right there. Alright. Okay, so that's where you've been. That's what you've been doing. You don't have to do that. That's your current energy. You've been just snip, snip, snip. Love that for you. Yeah, you deserve a Kit Kat break. Oh, now look what's coming in. The mighty Canadian geese. 29. Okay, well, we have some kind of quick moving communication. Some kind of flight. Something's taking off. Something's coming towards you. Well, you're taking off. You're going to communicate something, but I think it's going to be... Let's find out. Okay, let's push these. Wow. Also, art is just so important. And, you know, I take in a lot of art. As an artist, there's a ton of art and music I take in, and film and literature, where I'm like, I don't get it. Or sometimes I'm like, it's not for me. But it's equally as important to take in differing things. You need contrast. Sometimes it's even more important to be like, why don't I like this? Actually, the one artist that I hung out with before the show, because I was technically, I was like my buddy's tech person, so we got to do the artist, you know, backspaces and hang out and dinner and all that. Anyway, and there was a lot of stuff that she did that I thought was phenomenal, but it's very different than how I compose. But it just got me into this headspace of thinking about, like, instead of seeing differences or something that you don't understand and so you don't like it, and you say, oh my god, I hate this, I hate that person's whatever, or I don't like that person, the parts that I didn't really enjoy, and maybe it's also because I'm a musician and an artist, but I always try to think from their perspective of like, what type of frame of mind, or where are they composing from, or is this like an expression of them, like really trying to lean into it. So more to the point of like, even content, sometimes I allow myself to read or listen to people's podcasts or YouTube channels or Instagram or news of people who are really not what I'm about, because you can't grow in a vacuum. If you only surround yourself, it's good to hear different ideas and opinions, even if you still go, you know what, that's not for me. You need to know why, you know? You need to, again, ask questions, be curious. Maybe you could learn something. Maybe your mind could be changed. Maybe you'll have a different perspective. There's a message in here. Six of Swords. You're leaving. Remember? That Eight of Wands taken off. You're taking off. Yeah, because you went snip, snip. And you took a little snooze, a little rest, and then you're like, you know what, girl? I gotta go. Yeah, wow, you are ending things. Wow. And guess what's coming in? Because you know what I was thinking when I saw the Eight of Wands with the 29? I was gonna say it, but like clearly we all know by now, usually all of my readings, unless they're my really more philosophical ones, they always are just love at this point, so here we are. Yeah, love. It's here. It's here, isn't it? Also, for anyone who does still go to shows, and perhaps you like to get really wasted, just know that, like, you're detracting from everyone's whole experience. It's really quite selfish. I love when people enjoy themselves at a show, like, as a performer, and as someone who goes or has, you know, been to shows. But, like, man, that really fucked up person, and, like, when I say screaming, like, it was like she was possessed. But it was a real bummer because there was like some really beautiful, and a lot of these people were just performing solo. But yeah, I don't know. I just have a feeling. There's a message here. I feel like I am picking on one person here. Addiction does come up in my readings. There's no shame here. But I was really reminded of why I like to not be wasted. It's not to say sometimes I don't like to have a good time, but not like that. And I just saw a really sad, lonely human. Not sad as in pity, but like just a very lost soul that seemed to be embodying a lot of sadness and fucked upness. But also addiction is very selfish. Really takes up a lot of it, time and attention. And yeah, because the other day I had that reading about someone kind of not being okay. And to God, there's no shame in asking for help on any front, whether it's getting medicated, calling a suicide hotline, taking yourself to the hospital, going to a rehab. Like, guys, I have been in all of those scenarios. Took myself to rehab when I was 19. Went to my first meeting when I was 17. Was sober more than... Yeah. Definitely suicidal. Definitely took myself to the psych ward when I wanted to kill myself one weekend. You know? So, like, there's no shame in asking for help. And that's why I like to talk about these things. Like, real talk. You're talking to a real person who's done these things on my own. The Five of Swords, my lord. And that's going into the Six of Swords. Wow. Yeah, that's a little fuckery here. Five of Wands. Three of Cups. What the fuck, guys? What the fuck, my guy? Let's see this card. Eight of Cups. Wow. Holy shit. Okay. The last card is the Ten of Wands here. And look, it's a hawk. Look at the storm. I love these clouds. Yeah, it's stormy. You gotta put it down. Okay. To be honest, I don't think this is about people. I think this is actually about substance abuse disorder. Because the cutting, like Seven of Wands, again, this is a very unusual Seven of Wands. And when I was looking at this, it kind of reminded me of a joint. And some of these, because I don't have my glasses on, look like poppies. So for me, it's the bondages of self. It's cutting the cords of addiction, or things that are... No, it just feels like addiction. It could be anything. It could be porn, like any kind of addiction. Gambling addiction. But it's like one of the heavy hitters. We're not just talking sugar addiction here. Like this is where we're delving into the deep stuff. It can be multiple addictions. So it's chilly. It's that humid chilly. I got my shorts on. Ugh, no socks. Oh, that baby squirrel's out. Hi, baby squirrel. Okay. So, you're either have been cutting cords to people, and also people would go with that too, because if you're getting sober, you're usually like getting rid of your dealer's number, or like whatever the addiction is, you're cutting things out that are associated with it. With the sleeping, a lot of times when you get sober, there's kind of that, you feel very misplaced. You don't know where to put yourself. And so sometimes a bit of a coping, but also a recalibration is sleeping a lot. Now, upon further reflection here, see how this sword is quite large and it's straight? I feel like this is the sword of truth. This is you being able to rest in the fact that you know this is the honesty. Like, being honest with yourself to be like, this, I can't anymore with this. Like, I need help, or like, this has to stop today. I just can't do a second more of this. Like, something has to change. So you're sleeping with your sordid truth, but with like anything that's harmful to us, they're always waiting. They're always there, right? We have to be diligent. That's self-care, taking care of self, and like walking the straight and narrow path. I do feel like there's a little bit of escapism here. with that Eight of Wands, like with the sleep and the wanting to, I'm hearing escape. Especially if you don't have enough supports put in place. You know, like a lot of spiritual philosophies, but especially in Buddhism, but you know, the Sangha community. But especially when it comes to like mental health and addictions, you really need support. You really need a community. And that's another reason why I do love the 12 steps. I think they're really important. It's free, it's accessible, there's a million meetings a day, they're online, they're in person, anyone can go. It's great. So with that Eight of Wands, now see, this Six of Swords is looking to my past. And because it's under that Seven of Wands, I feel like in the past you couldn't leave. And see, look, they're standing on hot lava. That's the pain of addiction, when you're trapped in a loop, when you can't stop something. And that can be people, too, like, hand to God. People can be addicted to fucked up people, 100%. Either way, there's something here about, even though you're literally burning yourself to death like lava, it's actually just gonna disintegrate your toes. That's the thing, sometimes a rock bottom is like severe. Like actually this is reminding me, I'm gonna tell a story here. I knew a guy once, he got sober, and like a lot of people, he relapsed, but his drug of choice was meth. And on his relapse, he jumped out of a very tall building. It was something outrageous, like 2 or 3 stories. He broke all of the bones in his feet, and then he proceeded to walk on them for 2 days in a meth state. So it's giving that. It's like you were so caught up and just disintegrating, but you couldn't leave yet. You see? They're to my left. They're not moving forward. But with the Death card here, and this is future forward, but it's really like grow or die, as they say. You know, and it's not just things like mental health and addictions that kill people, but when we choose to stay in things that we know are not in our highest and greatest good, and sometimes a lot of those things can have some very hefty consequences. The price we pay. Jails, institutions, and death. So, yeah, whoever I'm talking to, you're really going through it. You're going through it as a million other people, and this isn't to downplay, but it's to show that we're not alone, that a lot of times part of the, what I call like the little dogs of addiction of the mind, what keeps us isolated is that no one can know our story, our pain, the circumstances, and that like, I don't know, there's always kind of like we kind of single ourselves out. But I just see this, yeah, they're showing me the middle, see the middle road? There's a choice here. You can end this cycle and put an end to it, you know? I'm gonna be real. There was a point in my 20s where I picked up a habit and I psychically knew. And what was crazy is that I called my mom and she had seen a psychic, and the psychic told her the same thing. And was like, your kiddo's into some things and they're gonna die very soon if they don't get it together. And that's just the way it is. The thing about life, it doesn't, and especially with things like mental health and addiction, it's not discerning. It doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care how much money you have. It doesn't care how cute you are. It doesn't care what family you come from. It doesn't care. And it sounds harsh, but it's kind of just the nature of life. Because to be honest, a lot of these things have been around for so long in our lives that like, there's been a lot of time and then it kind of reaches a crisis point. And once you reach that crisis point, it's just two sides of the road. Either you're making it or you're not. In my early 20s, I saw very clearly there was no more chances for me. Like, I saw my death. I saw exactly how it was going to go down. It was on the horizon, you know? And I took that very seriously. And, you know, so I say this with all the love and affection of, like, I have walked this path. Again, a lot of people are walking this path. It's totally doable. It feels insurmountable. It feels like you can't. And it does feel like a death. And in ways it is a death, because you're going to lose a lot of people, places, and things. But what it's replaced with is a love. Now, this isn't a romantic love. This is about self-love. This is about allowing the universe to love you. And anyone who's not familiar with 12 steps, but there's really kind of this saying of, like, you know, you get into the rooms, allow those people to love you until you can love yourself. You know, again, the demonstrations of what love looks like, what community, what friendship, camaraderie, what healthiness looks like, acceptance, you know? But I can see, like, I'm reading it like a story, but you're really conflicted, and there's just a lot of inaccuracy going on, right? Like, the snake's fighting itself, and there's a lot of wounds, but the snake doesn't know what's what. It's all tangled. It's tangled in the pain. Oh, it's 5 here. Because we go to the 5 to the 5. We go to the 5 of Wands. So, again, the little dogs of addiction. You have to fight for your right to be here on this planet. It is a fight. I had to make a decision many points in my life to fight for my spot to be here, or to just get on with it. But I realized I had to either commit either way. I either had to commit to killing myself or commit to being here. And I committed to being here, but you have to go the whole distance. Because if you go the whole distance, you're gonna see miraculous miracles. And that's the thing that you just can't. You can't possibly see or know yet, okay? And these dogs are gonna get barking. They're gonna be pulling at you every which way, and it's very confusing. But if you stick with it, if you move in that new direction, because this is that pile, if you move, this is future forward. It's like the promises, you know? And this doesn't just have to be addictions, but mental health and addictions go hand in hand. And then at the end here, it's like, there's celebration. And when you get your life back, that is celebratory. And what I love here is that these 3 cups are actually just filled with these, like, eyeballs and flowers. But then it's like fruit. Healthy. Celebrating healthiness, you know? And you're walking away and you're putting down these burdens. That's what asking for help is. That's what surrender is. It's putting down the burden. And all you have to do is just say, like, I can't do this anymore. Today is the day. I can't do this anymore. I need help. I don't know how I'm gonna get that help, but I'm telling you, it's the mustard seed again. All you need is the willingness. And don't wait, because again, these little dogs of addiction, they will pull you back in real quick, where all of a sudden, you're like, you know what? I'll do that tomorrow. You know what? I'm okay. I don't have a problem. I'm good. And then it's just like the same fucking loop. But what the cards are telling you here, and seeing that person at the show, they're pretty late stage. Like, you can tell that there's already been a lot of consequences in their life, and You know? Okay. It's getting your heart back. You know, in addictions, it's really about being too sensitive, feeling everything. And there's usually trauma, not always, but there's usually trauma. And I've talked about this, that after 44 years of wrestling with myself, I'm getting to peace. It's just realizing that, like, pain isn't the last stop. You just have to learn. People have to teach you how to feel. For one, know what your feelings are. Learn what your feelings are, because there's a lot of flavors. Lean in. It's gonna feel terrible, but it's in stages, right? You just do it one little thing at a time. First things first. You don't have to worry about the big stuff. It's just literally first things first. One day you just wake up and you go, man, my life has to change today, for real. For real. It's gotta change today, right now. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm done. It stops, you know? And it's just like, as I always say, you just gotta follow the mystery. One foot in front of the other. Okay. Well, God, Jesus, Grandma, Buddha, Grandmama. What do we gotta say? Back to the Two of Cups. Yeah, I'm hearing that Feist song again. I feel it all. I feel it all. And coming into that balance, right? The darkness and the light. When you're in the darkness, you forget that there is light. That there's other ways of being. That there's experiences that you could have and know. I say that from my own experience. And I truly mean that when I say that I didn't think certain things were ever possible, or there were certain things I didn't think I could ever fully heal. It may take a long time, but things do heal. And I'm very grateful today that I didn't kill myself, and that, you know, my sobriety looks different today, for sure. But I'm very grateful to sobriety, and it's something that always guides me. I love the 12 steps, and I think I've said this before, anyone can benefit from the 12 steps. You don't need to be an addict. It's a spiritual program, you know? Okay. Let's see. Is there anything else? Okay, so what is the advice for whoever I'm connecting to this morning? Stick with it, okay? You know what, and there is two here. Now, this came out in the siblings reading, but we did see that Two of Cups, for sure. And I don't like to talk about love or relationships because, especially if you're going through some stuff, that is not the time to be focusing on relationships or try to hook up. It's really the time to focus on self. Okay, tell me about, maybe you're in a partnership and the both of you are gonna get sober. I've seen that. I've seen that. Okay, who is the second person? Or maybe it is a sibling. I don't know. Family members get sober. I see parents and their kids getting sober together. Oh, Elder of Swords. A dad. Yeah, maybe one of you has a parent already in the rooms. And maybe this can heal part of that relationship. I've seen that too. Oh man, I've seen all kinds. I've seen literally miraculous miracles in the rooms. So, like, again, if you're questioning if your life could be incredible being sober, dude, I'm telling you, tell you right now, someone who's done a lot of substances in my life, I don't miss it at all. And even when I was smoking this winter for like the 2.5 months, you know, it was a great reminder, but I was like, I hate smoking cigarettes. They're gross. Like, I like the ritual of it, and I have the memories of it. So I started smoking really young. I started smoking when I was like 8. But, you know, that's such a common theme with people, is they think they're gonna get sober and that life is fucking boring. It's not. You know what's boring? Killing yourself slowly. You know what's boring? Is like getting so wasted that you're like pissing yourself. Or, you know, like, that's boring. That's not original and it's not interesting. It's not cute, it's not demure. If someone could go around and record you in those states, because when you're in it, you think you're the bee's knees. You think you're the funniest person, the sexiest person. Maybe perhaps sometimes you are, but I'm telling you, that person last night, the show, that was Heartbreak Central, you know? It was like, yeah, it was like trying to watch art, but being in front of someone who's just actively dying in front of me, and then who's also being kind of possessed by the spirits, you know? Like, at some point, like, she was tapped into something, and I was like, oh god. Even energetically, she kept coming near me, and I was like, okay. Her energy was intense. Okay, one more card, and then we'll leave it at that. Yeah, I'm gonna put on some socks. It's chilly. Okay. Well, going back to the 10 of Cups and the 6, sorry. But 10 of Cups and the 6 of Pentacles, it's like, you're gonna be happier than beyond your wildest dreams. And you'll hear that. And dude, like, I'm a big believer in people who relapse. I don't think you need to relapse a lot, and some people die when they relapse. Again, price to pay. That's just the truth. But never give up. Never give up on yourself. Never ever. I'd rather die trying than give up on myself. You know what I mean? I would rather die trying. Because it's true, when you start to do the work, and you start to change things, there's just going to be things that come into your life that you did not even think was possible. You couldn't even conceive of it. And with that 6 of Pentacles, there's a generosity. You get to experience the best parts of human beings. You know, the giving and taking. Again, going back to us saying 12-step here, it's like we're doing 12-step right now. You know, you get to keep what you have by giving it away. And you'll see that in the rooms. There's so much generosity. Okay. One last card. Okay, Grandmama. What is this person? Last message for this person. New beginning. That's beautiful. That's literally so beautiful. That's you. What have we got here? Okay, well, never mind these mushrooms. Although, whatever. I'm all about, if you need psilocybin initially or with a doctor to help, like, I can't judge anyone's sobriety. It's not for me to judge. I wouldn't recommend it. But I'm also very much about harm reductive approaches. People's sobriety is different. I just care about seeing people live their best lives, and there's a million ways to get there. Oh, what a cutie. This little big fat squirrel, baby squirrel, he just hung his little arms over, I have a fence in the yard, metal fence, or like, and he just was like a little kid. He just had his little toes on the one part, and then he just hung his arms over, and then he was just looking at me with his little fat belly. Cute. Yeah. And look, the world on the bottom. One ending literally leads to this. Happy, joyous, and free. Can't conceive of it. Listen, I don't make promises. I don't say things that I don't believe in or that I don't think is possible for people. But I'm telling you, do yourself a favor and just do something different. Nothing changes if nothing changes, you know? And I'm telling you, there's absolutely a different world out there if you're struggling. I don't care if it's depression, any kind of mental illness. Just doing the work suck at times, abso-fucking-lutely. Are the benefits and rewards insurmountable? Also absolutely. And then also you get desensitized. You know, like the calluses. You learn how to feel things and you become less sensitive or defensive. Okay. Sorry, I'm just getting my confirmation. I'm gonna go pick up my kiddo in a bit. I'm so excited. I wouldn't be able to be a parent, or to be the parent that I am, or to even have a child, if I hadn't done the work, if I hadn't kept picking me, and kept being like, fuck, I really want to give up, but I can't. And there's been so many times in my life. And some very recently, where I just wanted to fucking die. And every time I choose not to die, I get these incredible moments. Where it makes everything worthwhile. And I've lived through some fucking horrors. And I know lots of people are living through horrors. And no one should have to live through those. And I totally get why people want to check out. There's no judgment there. But if I can only speak from my experience, what I can say to be true is that I've literally been stopped in my tracks at times, like this moment. If I think, oh man, had I followed through, or if it would have worked, I would have never. My son is my best gift. And even though it comes with a heavy price, because I have to deal with his mom, still, to this day, and to see that I have overcome my family trauma. I'm the parent that I never got to have, and my son gets to have that. So I'm just telling you, if you're struggling, fucking hang in there. And just go for it, you know? Just lean in, do something different. I'm telling you, it's worth it, okay? Okay, well, on that note, I gotta go get ready for my kiddo. Let's do a little prayer. Right here, right now. You're okay. I'm okay. And what I want for you is what I want for myself, for the whole world. May this world today know true love, the love that I have for my son. It doesn't have to be a child, but just like deep love. Let everyone know that love, to be able to receive it and give it. Let everyone know food in their bellies, clean water, safety and protection, justice, laughter from the belly. You got this, okay? Alright. Stay blessed, stay golden out there, okay?